Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today so that we could discuss Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So I'm way late to this one, but after after Winnie the Pooh went into the public domain, horror movie creators jumped on the concept to bring us this story of, Christopher Robin. He loves Winnie the Pooh, he loves Piglet, loves the Thousand Acre Woods, but eventually he has to grow up and leave that part of his life behind. Except that Pooh and Piglet, don't fare so well after that happens, and they end up going feral, becoming like these murderous butchers. And when Christopher Robin comes back to the Thousand Acre Woods as an adult, things don't go so well. So obviously, this was made to kind of cash in on the fact that Winnie the Pooh had gone into the public domain, which I have no issue with. I love these. I love the idea here. I love I love jumping on the IP to make something fresh that people have been wanting for a while. I know that this was kind of put down by a lot of people because it was a super low budget independent film, but I mean I think if you look at whether or not this movie delivered, you have to look at it from two different ways. Like as a traditional horror movie, if you just factor out Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, this is a pretty by the numbers, really basic, really simple horror movie. We just go from point to point. We get to see a few deaths. There's not a lot of story. There's not a lot of, it just kind of relies on atmosphere and you being already familiar with the characters. But it does have it's got some blood. A lot of it's CGI, and kind of, the head squashing effect is is a little iffy. But I mean, that's just low budget horror movies, right? All the effects are not going to look super polished or whatever. I think it's okay in that way. It's not something I would, write home about or whatever, but it's a basic, serviceable, independent horror movie. Whether or not you like it more than that, I think depends on how you feel about whether they delivered on the characters or not. Yes, you get to see Winnie the Pooh, butcher people and torture people and drive a car and run somebody's head over, and you get to see Piglet, covered in blood and ripping off women's clothing. So there is that like shock value and novelty value. And that's kind of what it comes down to here. How much of a novelty is this to you? Is it enough to where you can kind of overlook that the rest of the movie's kind of basic and forgettable? Or is it just where you're like, oh, now that I've seen Winnie the Pooh kill somebody, that's all I needed. I thought it was entertaining. It held my interest. I thought it was well made for, the circumstances. I thought the production values were a step above certainly what I was expecting. You can tell that effort was put in here. Was it rushed out? Of course, it was rushed out to cash in. There's nothing wrong with that. That's horror filmmakers have always been one to jump on a trend or on an opportunity. So I don't think this is as bad as a lot of the people have said. I actually thought it was watchable. Is it one of my favorite horror movies of all time? No. Am I going to revisit it all the time? No. But was it worth watching once? And when I was watching it, did it hold my interest? And did I certainly don't regret watching it. I felt like I was entertained. It was entertaining for what it was, and that's all I expect out of movies. Really, is it promised the concept, and in my opinion, it delivered on it. It was neat to see these characters do this nasty stuff, and I'm in for the sequel. So that's my review of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I thought it was solid. I liked seeing Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go on this rampage, so I'm looking forward to more. But I can understand it if you just don't like independent, low budget movies. If some of the production, things, liabilities or whatever are going to kind of weigh on you. But I thought it was a solid watch. If you want to check out more, you can go to my website, markfusion.com, or go right here on YouTube for hundreds and hundreds of movie reviews right in my movie review playlist. But until then, thanks for watching this review. I do greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you soon.